I'm about to clock in on 3 whole years of working in corporate. And after 36 paychecks, sometimes it doesn't really feel like anything. Like at this point, my paycheck just feels like a direct deposit that disappears into rent and God, I don't know what. And that is why every single month we sit down together to do this financial reset together, because this is the one thing that has actually helped me to feel grateful about my paycheck again. So in the spirit of celebrating our paychecks, let's go through the income portion first in this month's payday routine. If you've seen my previous episode, you could tell that my Amazon paycheck actually got lowered by a little bit in this month. And the reason of that is because I upped my 401k after-tax contribution by a little bit. So a little bit more of my paycheck goes straight into my retirement fund. So whatever number we see over here is actually what I receive after taxes and after contributions. And the reason I do that is because I find 401k and especially 401k after taxes, which funds into Mega Backdoor Roth, to be so helpful in terms of automating my investments because I'm just terrible at investing sometimes. And because I have such a strong emergency fund at this point, I feel a little bit more comfortable contributing more of my paycheck to my 401k after taxes. But over here are some of the interest from my various checking accounts. I think the interest rate dropped a little bit this month, so the return of that also dropped a little bit. But that's okay. So in the month of July, our total number is $6,603. Which is honestly pretty decent. Again, I'm still in the process of upping my games in my side hustles, but at this point, all of my income is primarily through my day job. But with that being done, we can finally go back to our dashboard and look at how much we spent in the month of July. As you can see over here, in the month of July, I spent a total of $3,753. I spent $2,000 on rent, which includes my base rent, some of my utilities, and a little bit of parking. I could also tell that because my boyfriend fronted the rent a little bit, this is more than what I'm supposed to pay for rent, so I can expect that in the latter half of the year. I'll probably be paying a lot lower in rent than I'm doing right now. The next category is food. Initially, I felt a little bit bad that I spent $500 in terms of food this month, but if we look back into the expenses, it doesn't actually feel that bad because most of the dining out experiences that contributed to this number are from a couple of restaurants that's just very expensive. For example, I spent $96.22 at the Purple Cafe. This was a date night that I had with Kevin, and I paid for both of our food. In fact, I'm really happy that I went there because I wrote that down as one of my subscriber goals last year, and at that point I thought I would never reach it. This year, actually stepping into the Purple Cafe for the first time, it felt like a dream come true that I was actually able to reach, I don't know what it was for anymore, like maybe 600 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm so grateful for every one of you for being here. Without you guys, I would never feel worthy enough of going to a fancy restaurant like that. Even though it's a little bit over budget, I don't feel too bad about it. The next category that we have is beauty and skincare at $452. Okay, this is actually very expensive. Let's go and look at what happened. Okay, one of my videos kind of like blew up last month, so I hit a lot of my YouTube milestones. I had a lot of gifts lined up for myself, so a lot of the money that I spent in this category actually goes to some of my YouTube milestones. The most expensive one over here is You Like, which is a laser hair removal kit. I was debating between this and going into a salon for that, but I ultimately decided to get a kit. Even though it's a little bit more work, I just don't really enjoy having to make 6 separate appointments just for laser hair. That sounds crazy. And on top of that, what if I change cities? I wouldn't be able to use my credits that I already paid for anymore, so I just think it's a better idea to get one of those at-home devices, even though it's a little bit more work. Other than that, I also spent $100 getting my lashes done. There's still a little bit left, but they're mostly gone at this point. It's definitely expensive, and I don't generally go in Seattle. I try to get my lashes done whenever I go travel because it's cheaper that way, but it actually helps a lot when I'm feeling ugly to get my lashes done, so I do think getting that done occasionally in Seattle helps me with my mental health. The next categories that we have is grocery at $264. This is not high at all. In fact, it's like well below my average grocery bill, and that is partly due to the fact that I spent so much money eating out. But no, I feel good about this amount. I think I was also being wise about what grocery I buy, so that is good in getting that number low and healthy at the same time. The next category is gifts at $140. This was mainly for the meal that I treated my dad for his birthday. It was an all-you-can-eat restaurant in Portland, and it was actually a pretty interesting experience. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I will put it over here because I do recommend the food there. Let's just do the rest of the categories one by one. In terms of transportations, I spent $83. This was for occasional parking and for the FlixBus that I took going to and coming back from Portland, so that is a healthy amount. The next one is entertainment at $83. So this month I actually spent a lot more time having fun, which is something that I want to do. So aside from my regular Netflix and some movie tickets, I also bought the rush ticket for Alicia Keys' House Kitchen, which is a Broadway musical that's touring in Seattle. We went on last Tuesday, which is their opening night, and got the ticket at the door for $40 per person, which is really good because I was looking on Ticketmaster beforehand and the cheapest tickets were like $65. Rush tickets is actually really good. If you haven't done it, I totally recommend it. I also really enjoyed a lot of the songs, and usually for some reason a lot of the touring musicals, whenever they come to Seattle, it turns into a flop. So I'm really glad that this one is actually still so good as if I were to see it at Broadway. So if you happen to be in New York, I really recommend this musical. The next one is fitness at $87. This is entirely spent on my Orange Theory fitness membership, which I didn't go to a single class in this month. I know. I felt so bad, but because I had a surgery done, surprise, yes, I had a surgery done. I wasn't cleared from my doctor to go to weight training classes for the majority of the month. So I requested for a refund, but I don't think I heard back from them. So I kind of like just lost $90, which sucks. But then the next one, shopping, is at $55. I got a mental health journal when I was just casually going to Target, which was really nice, but I haven't used it yet. And I also got something from Pop Mart this month when I went to Portland. Actually, let me show you right now. This is their Skull Panda series, and I got the yellow one. I forgot the name, but these dolls just look so cute. And this is the line that I really wanted to buy since over a year ago, and instead I put that on my YouTube milestone and I finally hit that. So I'm so happy that I got this. Not my favorite color, but it's not my least favorite color either. So yeah, I really like her. Honestly, now I want to buy another one, but let's save that for later. Utility is $70. This is just electricity and insurance. Makes sense. Hobbies is at $7. When I was at Portland, we also went to Ape Cave, which is a cavern that you could go near Mount St. Helens, and I went on a hike there with my family. You do have to make a reservation online and pay $2 for that, and then we also had to pay $5 for a lighting rental because it's pitch black down there. That was a fun experience. I actually do recommend going, but I got a little bit claustrophobic at the end, so we had to turn around, but I would want to go again. The last category is $10 for pets, so I just stopped by a pet store one time and bought her some additional treats, but everything else for my cat Emily is fully in stock. So that is it for all of the categories that we spent money on this month. But before we move to the sinking funds, my name is April and I'm a 25-year-old software engineer living in Seattle, and in my channel I talk about life in your 20s, personal finance, as well as how I blend tech and creativity to build my dream life one step at a time. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe, and let's move on to the sinking funds. The only sinking fund categories that we spend money on is medical, electronics, and education. Let's go through medical first. This month has been a lot. There's a couple health complications that I won't expand on in this video, but basically I got a surgery done, had to go to the ER for another time, and also spend money on Ozempic. So all of those combined is $912, which doesn't sound that much because at this point I've already reached my out-of-pocket max for the year. That is crazy, and I will make another video fully on that topic. So let's move on to the next one. Electronics is the usual, just $10 for Apple Cloud subscription. And then in terms of education, this is actually my first time spending this fund in a while. I spent $365 at Jet City, which is a local improv community in Seattle. I will be taking another series of their classes. In fact, after I film this, I will run to another session of their classes. I originally didn't want to do it because I feel like adding that to my plate might be too much and I might feel burnt out from it, but I still decided to do it anyways, partly because I was coerced by my friend to do it. But so far I've had one class and I really enjoyed how I was able to get goofy again with a bunch of people, because at work I'm supposed to be very professional, and then for my videos I also felt the need to behave a certain way in a sense, but then at improv that's the place where I can fully be goofy and just like say all of the silly things, and so far I actually do like it. That was exactly the reason that I decided to set a sinking fund for education, because in addition to maybe wanting to go to grad school, I also don't want money to be the reason that I stop learning. So whenever there's a series of classes that I feel interested in, having a sinking fund dedicated for education helps me ease the discomfort of paying a big bill upfront to get education. And that is the meaning of having a sinking fund in the first place. Before we go into the review dashboard for this month, we are going to pick our favorite purchases of the month, because spending money should be joyful and we shouldn't only feel guilty when we spend money. So my favorite purchase of this month is actually, drumroll, Purple Cafe. Honestly, this month is a little bit hard to choose from. I was thinking between Purple Cafe and the rush ticket that I got, but it is such a full circle moment for me to go back to Purple Cafe. I almost teared up when I first went into the restaurant because I just remembered April 1 year ago walking on the street of Seattle and casually running into the restaurant. I was thinking about how that's such a fancy restaurant. I would love to go there, but then at the same time, I feel like because it's so fancy, I have to have accomplished something for me to be able to go. At various points of making videos, I just feel like my channel's never growing and I'm never gonna make it. So then after that, every single time I walk past the cafe, it just felt like something that I would want to do, but then would never happen. So yeah, finally making it to the cafe makes me feel so grateful of all the work that I've put in YouTube. I don't know, I just feel so proud of all the work that I've done. So that's why Purple Cafe is my favorite spending of the month. But aside from that, what is your favorite purchase of the month? Let me know in the comment section below. And with that, we can finally start the dashboard review. Let's first go over our monthly goals. The first one is food under $400. We're pretty close. We're only $100 over budget. So I feel like at that pace, we could actually reach it next month. Let's see what happens. And the second one that I have is no spending at all on fashion. Honestly, I hate folding laundry. I hate it, hate it, hate it. And I'm super glad that I didn't spend any money on fashion because I do not need more clothes. The third goal that we had is grocery under $300, and we were able to do that. I spent $264, which is great. I feel great about that because I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. I went to farmers market, I spent at Whole Foods, so it does feel very well balanced. I'm happy about that. So we've done expenses, and then we've done the reflection and the income. So yeah, this month has been actually pretty great. I did spend a lot of money in certain categories, but then I feel like they're either well justified or unavoidable, and we hit pretty much all of our intentional spending goals. So I feel really proud of the progress that I made this month. And with that, we can go to the paycheck allocation. As I mentioned earlier, this month our paycheck is slightly lower than the other months, but that's okay. $6,300 is more than enough for us at this point. The first thing that I need to account for is spendings. I spent a total of $3,700. That is actually more than what I thought I was because I was bedridden for like a week, but whatever. I think 58% is good enough for that. Debt payment, I still have to pay for my car loan that I contribute every single month. Let's do 7% for that. Honestly, if I have extra by the end of this year, I'm thinking about pay off my car at this point because I don't think the interest rate justifies it anymore. We're doing really great on emergency funds, so we will keep it at 2%. So that gives us a little bit more flexibility in terms of sinking fund and investment. I would want to up my investment a little bit to 7% this month, and because of that, we would have 26% for sinking fund, which is a lot of money. That looks good. So for investment, we will be doing 90% stocks, 10% crypto, which is what I always do. So the only thing we have left to do is the sinking fund categories. I don't have any big travel lining up, but it's nice to stock some money. So let's do 30% travel. Education fund, I have no idea what I'm doing with that besides my occasional improv classes, but I do think it's a good gesture. So let's do 2%. Taxes, I should be good for the next year. So let's do 4% for that. Oh, by the way, in terms of taxes, I do have a news, which is I finally got my money back from the IRS. If you've seen this video over here, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, something that's been troubling me for more than 2 months at this point has finally been resolved. Next one is electronics. I might want to replace my MacBook Pro at some point, so I will up it a little bit more than what I usually do. I'll probably do 8% on that. The next one is Roth IRA. I think I'm a little bit behind on getting 7,000 by the end of this year, so I will up it to 30%. That doesn't leave us with much money left, so I will have to lower my car overhead to maybe 8%, and then I'll lower my medical to 18% since I have reached my out-of-pocket max. That's pretty easy. So with that being done, my next thing is actually the fun part, which is to transfer all of these money from my income account to their respective accounts. Same drill as usual, I'll just do that on my phone right now. Okay, Honestly, that took a while, but that is finally done. As you can see over here, my sinking fund dashboard is up to date and all of my money is transferred to where they should be. And I feel so good because I know where exactly every single penny of my paycheck is going to. And with that, we're mostly done. Let's just double check our final checklist. I have already updated my net worth, which is what you can see over here. I won't reveal the numbers yet. They're saved for my end of the year net worth reveal video. And we just have self-reflection and goal setting left. The first question is, where did you overspend or underspend? I definitely overspent a little bit on beauty and skincare, honestly. But then at the same time, they're kind of like milestone goals, so I don't feel too bad about it. The next one we're gonna do is, how could you improve on your spending? Honestly, at this point, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job. I don't know why. I think it's because of the rent that makes my monthly spending seem a little bit high, but I think it's on the healthier side of things. What are some of the friction points in your financial system? Actually, at this point, I feel pretty good about my financial system. Earlier, I feel like I was wasting a lot of time copying my bank statements to my budget tracker because the format of different bank account is different. But if you can see in this video over here, I developed an AI agent that helps me do the task for that. So now all that I have to do is to log into each bank and take a screenshot, and then the AI can do all of the formatting for me, and then I do a final review, which actually makes a lot more sense. So yeah, no, I don't think there's anything that I want to improve at the moment. In terms of adjustments, are there any events that's happening next month? I don't think there's anything big that's happening. I was originally going to go on a road trip with my parents to send my sister to the college that I went to, but we decided with the workload that I have right now, it's not the best idea. So because of that, I actually don't think I have any large expenses. Well, maybe I should take my car to a service. I feel like next month should be one of the lower spending months. And then what are some of your action steps in planning for the next month? So for this one, I would want to continue food under $400. At this point, it's not so much about the money. I just want to be able to say that I've successfully completed my food goal for once. So hopefully next month is going to be the month for that. But other than that, everything else actually looks decent. I genuinely don't see anything that I want to set as a goal. So yeah, that is the only goal that I'm going to be setting for myself for next month, because I don't see myself doing too much next month, and that is okay. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you watch all the way until here, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, make sure to check out this video over here, which is how much I spent in a week here in Seattle, but in a vlog format. So that's fun. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.